Well, hello, and welcome to my explanation for this stupid challenge. So, I want to start off with mentioning why I used the scavenger karma settings. That's because I did actually quite a few runs without that, and I had to reset so many times, not because I died, but because I just could not find scavengers. And the ones that I did find, especially in Shaded Citadel, where I need to find one with the survivor level karma, they just would not show up. So I figured, hey, that option, it's not red, it's not a cheat, so I left it in. It's fine. I'm not sure if it was obvious, but this first minute and 5 seconds is really sloppy. But that's because I actually don't want to go too fast here because I've found that if I get out there, at the minute mark, minute below that, scavengers will not be out here, or at least waiting a second or just being a little bit slower increases the odds. Um, I've found that you can go a lot faster through these sections with the tentacle kelp, but I have had so many runs just end because they grabbed either me or just the scavenger I was carrying, and that ends everything. So I decided to take it very safely. You stun them and then you just run through, but you can do it faster. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the routing of the run. So the reason I'm going, garbage waste, shaded citadel, memory crypts, all the way up to 5 pebbles is because I don't think you can do it any other way. If you try and go up the wall and go talk to 5 pebbles, because you need to talk to him in order to unlock the Metropolis gate, you're kind of screwed because that gate is locked for the rest of the cycle, and if we're doing it in 0 cycles, that's not good. And exiting on the one through the underhang when the rain is going, the electric sparks, will kill you. So that is a no-go. You have to do it the other way around, where you go up through the underhang, because the gate with the wall, it's above the rain, so that's fine. But yeah, that's why we do it like this. And I never tried it, but it didn't seem to me that going either Shaded Citadel up to Industrial Complex, up to Chimney Canopy, then to the underhang would work, or Garbage Wastes, Industrial Complex, Chimney Canopy, whatever. I don't think that would work. I just don't think it's fast enough. This is already insanely tight, and I think that that's just a lot more demanding in terms of speed. Okay, now that we're at the leg, I think is what it's called, I just want to mention that spitter spiders are the absolute worst. I mean, of all the threats here, there are regular spiders, Muros vultures, and there are a ton of white lizards and cyan lizards. Those pale in comparison to the freaking spitter spiders. Just, because you're holding the scavenger, you essentially only have access to, you can only outmaneuver stuff and use the, parry ability. And that works for pretty much everything else but the spitter spiders, because if they hit you, typically the strategy is, oh, you want to spear them or just in some way kill them before they knock you out. But we're not carrying spears, so we don't have one on hand that we can very quickly just kill them with. And so that leads to every time you see a spitter spider, you have to either just pray to God it doesn't hit you, and it'll hit the scavenger instead, or it'll miss. You have to try and just knock it out and run past really quickly, which has mixed results, or knock it off the edge, which sometimes isn't an option, especially when we're in the inside areas. But if you get through it, it works. It works. I also want to mention that the timing here is incredibly tight. If you have any hang-ups that cost 30 seconds, like scavengers are being a dick and they're hiding out somewhere and you have to wait a bit to get past them, it pretty much ruins the run. That is another reason why I turned on the scavenger karma, because it's so luck dependent. If you'll find a group, if they'll have the right karma requirements. I mean, at some point I was doing runs where I would leave the initial scavenger, like just in that first shaded citadel gate, and just kill another one real quickly and find it. But the luck in trying to find one, and it like doesn't fall off the bridges or doesn't fall down into another area and a spider swoops it up, it's a lot of luck that you need that I did not have. So I just elected to scavenger karma. It was fine. Because of the spitter spiders, I also decided to go up there those little side pipes, because those made it a lot easier to not get hit. Once you're in 5 Pebbles, it doesn't really matter which route you take. You can go through Unfortunate Development or whatever the other one's called. I went the left route without the Daddy Longlegs simply because the first time I made it here, after like a bazillion attempts, I died to a Daddy Longlegs that was like BS. So I decided I'm not going to do that anymore. And one commenter asked me like why I didn't get a neuron fly, because I could actually see during Metropolis, and that's because I don't remember I forgot how the inspectors worked, and I was like, I'm not gonna risk eating a neuron fly and then they attack me later. I'm just gonna no risk go through and it'll be fine. You can see me being really shifty here and like pausing and checking the map at the screens, and that's because I kept hearing things that I think weren't real, and I thought there was because at nighttime, especially on the wall, there are elite scavs, which I feel like have 10 times the chance of off-screen sniping me, so I was being extra cautious here. Turned out to be completely unnecessary. None of them were up here, but better safe than sorry. Now, the route that I took through Metropolis, I don't think it has too much meaning behind it. I didn't like particularly route this out. I was just like, I know how to get to the boss fight. I'll just try and get there and not die along the way. But I did not want to go below because I know that there's the Miros birds and I didn't want to have to deal with that. Those are very unpredictable and I ain't about that. I've been through memory crypts a million times and I don't like it anymore. And I didn't want to go all the way through the top because there's that first like scavenger toll, and I have been off-screen sniped there a million times just regular playing, and I'm not about to do that right now where I can barely see. It's already dangerous enough. So I'm just gonna go through these areas where it's like there might be some scavengers, there might not. It's mainly just spiders and the occasional group, so it's fine. I can typically avoid them, which I mean I did. I'm gonna be honest, before I did this challenge, I'd barely ever experienced Metropolis at night, and I did not realize that it was like literally you can't see what's happening, especially at the end when you're going down those long corridors. Like it is dark, and the scavengers blend in. You just see their eyes. The first time I made it to Metropolis, I did not survive, and it's like literally the first room, the one with that shelter, I got sniped because I literally just could not see the scavenger. I thought I was alone in there. But, you know, in hindsight, I saw their eyes. But it's pretty scary at night. Pretty scary. This room here, in hindsight, I probably would have taken a different route if I could have avoided this room. Like, it's very dangerous because, you know, all the scavengers are probably gonna be on the right, and they can hit you before you see them. I know that during the daytime there are usually a bunch of drop wigs here. I guess they go away at night, so that wasn't an issue. But as you can see, like there's an E-scav here. I'm very scared. And later I have to deal with a regular scav that's like just blocking my way, and it's very tense, especially since it's so near the end of the run. It's like the latter half of Metropolis, so I'm not just like just getting here. So I'm really nervous, hands are shaking. But I got through it. It just took a lot of jank, a lot of really stupid scavenger kills right here. I think I dodged one right here, or I just cower like an idiot. But that's how it goes. Here, you can witness me getting horrendously lost because it was so dark, and I think it looked darker, like not in this recording. Maybe it's just because I had like lens glare or something, but I just did not see that like bridge off to the top right at the top of that tower. So I was like absolutely confused. I'm like, where the heck do I go? I thought this was a way. I could have sworn. So you can see me pause. I check a map. I had it on my phone, but like, and then you know there's all the scavs around. So that was pretty tense, and I was very confused. Here you can witness me being absolutely paranoid because I could have sworn I heard some scavengers off to the right, so I make a grenade and I throw it over there just to find that there's absolutely nothing there. But you know, that's a scavenger hotspot, so as much as this next room is, so I'm being extra cautious. I can't see. I mean, this is where it gets really dark. So there's that. Except that room, of course. Here I get stopped by the most obvious freaking white lizard of all. He wasn't a problem, but you know, just an extra threat right near the end. I mean, of course, the biggest threat is about to come up. It's literally in like the last 3 rooms. So that was crazy. Then there's that scavenger. I missed the first spear, but it's all good. It's all good. And then of course I think everyone hates this next room just because, not because there's a ton of scavengers, and there usually is, but it's like if you do this fast, you immediately run out of, you know, explosions, and you just have to wait. Because there's not really a good way of getting up there without just exploding off to the side like that. So it's just really annoying. And of course, you know, scavengers and E-scavs like to hide out at the top there, and it makes you nervous for jumping up to the next step. So that's fun. So here I get to witness the most threatening thing I think I've ever seen. There's an E-scav. I don't have a pipe to be in, and I miraculously managed to dodge that first hit. I mean, I think that I can't tell if I'm the luckiest person alive or the unluckiest that I ran into this like right here. This is the last stretch of the run, but I took care of him. It's just real crazy. I mean, here you can see just how close that was and how lucky I was to dodge this off-screen snipe just by the barest amount. Of course, I gotta get in some last minute, very dangerous elite scavenger shenanigans, and right as I run across, one pops out of the other side. It's just a great way to mark the stretch to the boss fight. And right here, I mean, I look a little bit crazy, but you know, I see the King Vulture's little beams, so I was hiding. Didn't want to die to that at this point. And lastly, I get to deal with some final regular scavenger shenanigans. I I mean, it's just one scavenger. I probably could have taken it out, but I didn't like when he was all the way over to the left because I can't just drop down and parry him and knock him to the ground. I'd have to risk something. I wasn't feeling that, so eventually I got the courage to just run into that pipe. Tried to kill him, I missed, but it's all he was a coward. It was fine. And now we're on to the boss fight, which went surprisingly well. I haven't actually practiced that much. I was practicing so much at the actual run and not this fight because I was like, oh, I'll never make it to Metropolis for a while, and then I did. So I eventually got this. As you can see, he didn't really move much after he got hit the first time, so I can just do that again. But then he managed to steal the spear before I did. So then I freak out and start parrying him a ton. Get to hit him again. This starts working out, but then he gets it again. I get spooked. Like, as you can see, I had to parry him a lot more than he probably needed to, just because the second he got a spear, I freaked out. But that's the run, and it only took like a lot of tries. I don't even know how many. But yeah, as you can see, I got successful cycle 0 and death 0, so cycle 0 speedrun and deathless speedrun complete. I wasn't expecting what score I got at the end. 100 is it's an interesting round number to actually get, despite all the, I got a minus 41 from the time, and the different creatures give you really weird amounts that I don't even know. So that's interesting. But, I mean, that's the run. That's the run. A little bit about the mods that I used. I mean, I know that this isn't like what speedrun.com lets you use. I have like the blood mod on there, but as far as I know, I mean, this challenge isn't a real challenge. I don't think anyone has a bounty on it. I don't think it's a speedrun category. I was just doing to prove it was possible. And the whole, scavenger karma is whatever. It's not red. I think I showed off that it isn't red. So I think this counts. I did something. It's good. Also, the Artificer is Hard Part 3 is coming soon.